Hello, everyone. Welcome to ELI, the place where you get your daily dose of inspiration for entrepreneurship. And today we have with us Mr. Lokesh Daga, who is the co-founder of Nasher Miles, a new age digital first brand committed to make travel easy, efficient, and tasteful. Hi, Lokesh. Welcome to ELI.
Thank you, Priya. Thank you. It's great to be here.
To start with, I would request you to introduce yourself to our listeners and give a little bit about your background in the industry we're operating in.
So, my name is Lokesh, born and brought up in Calcutta. Did my engineering, pursued my MBA from SP Jain, and post my MBA, I got an internship and in Philips Electronics India Limited. That's where I worked for 5 years. All out sales stint was there in Philips. And in my last year, I was heading the online sales for Philips Consumer Lifestyle. So, and those were the years where Amazon and Flipkart was very formative, and they were trying to get hold into the country. And that's where the genesis of the idea of getting into the online space and starting a venture started. Okay, and that's when NasherMiles was born, 2014. We have three co-founders, and we are based out of Bombay. That's how it is.
Got you. So how long it has been you've been running Nasher Miles? How it can you tell us a little bit about how it was
So when
started?
we
What
started, starting was we started off as being online aggregators in June 2014. That's when three of us, my wife, who's the other co-founder, and my elder brother, who's the other co-founder. There are three co-founders in the team. That's when we started in 2014. We were online aggregators. That time, Amazon and Flipkart were just trying to get hold into the country, so they needed players, getting brands, and a lot of brands didn't know how to sell online. So that is how we started. And as the journey evolved, we pivoted into having our own private label, which is Nasher Miles. So Nasher Miles started in 2017, August. So it's been almost like 6 years. This is the sixth year we'll complete.
okay. Yeah. Tell us about the early days. How did you set up the business? What was the first thing that you did? Maybe did you set up a website and how did you promote your business? How did you find the users for your business?
I mean, early years, मतलब ऐसे ही होता है. हर एक business when you start is there is a eureka moment and you need to jump on it. I mean, when we started in 2014, of course, all of us were drawing very fat salaries and all. It was very lucrative. It's very comforting at the end of the month when you get your paycheck. There were a lot of uncertainties. The only thing which helped us to make the plunge was we had the confidence that we are educated and qualified enough. If by chance the venture doesn't succeed, we will always go back to the corporate job. So me and my wife actually quit on the very same day. We put on a paper. She was working with ICICI Bank. I was working with Philips. And we said, chalo, let's take a jump and we'll see what it happens. I mean, both of us are qualified enough. We had some savings. We thought, we'll last for like 12 to 15 months easily. Agar kuch bhi nahi banega in the new business. And that's how we started in 2014. Okay. It was instinctive. The opportunity was so large that we couldn't think too much about it. Okay. There was a eureka moment, got together and we said, chalo, let's take a plunge. We will see what it is. And we've come a long way from that, so it's been like 9 years since then.
Why travel? Why? What is your either background or inclination towards travel?
So, I mean, we always wanted to get our own private label launched. Okay, we knew how to sell in any of these platforms, be it Amazon, Flipkart, or anywhere, Myntra, any of these portals which are there. Okay, I mean, we were always very sure at some point of time we wanted to start a private label because that's when probably you make more money. Okay, essentially we were distributors of a lot of brands and we were distributors of VIP, Skybags, Aristocrat at one point of time. Okay. However, travel was again, most of our decision, what we have taken in the past, coincidentally, it happened like we were standing on a conveyor belt. Okay. We were traveling, me and my wife, I think we were traveling from London to India. Okay. And I think in the Mumbai airport, I mean, when we were standing, this was in 2016, if I'm not wrong. People were looking at the luggage उठा के देख रहे थे कि is this their luggage, and we could see that everybody was doing the same thing. Reason was very simple. उसमें लगा कि most of the bags are of the 2-3 popular brands which were there at that point of time, which was American Tourister, Safari, or Sky Bags. And unfortunately most of the bags were black, blue, gray, and so people were looking up to it. And then we also saw a trend that people used to tie red ribbons and red laces on the bags to identify, but that was also becoming common because everybody had a red lace or a pink lace. And it is a genuine struggle for elderly people where they are not able to identify their bags. And I'm sure you would have also encountered
Absolutely.
everybody this story where on a conveyor belt, अरे ये मेरा है क्या, ये उनका है क्या? And that's why we thought that this category को थोड़ा जान देना पड़ेगा. You have to get some life into this category and make luggage, which is a commodity, into a fashion category. And we wanted to play with a lot of colors, and that's what we stand for as a brand. Okay, so that's how we started as Luggage. We said that's a big opportunity, and more so there were only 3 big players, no other players were there. And the category is so big because everybody in this country, everybody in this world requires some space to store things. Okay, that is number one. Second is, as Indians, we are very, very aspirational. We want to travel more. Okay, be it a staycation for a 2 to 3 day thing, or probably a small trip or international trip, because the more people will travel, the more you require something luggage. So I think luggage was that was one of the reasons why we started luggage as a category. Yeah, it's an evergreen category, barring the 2 years of COVID. It is, I mean, travel is here to stay.
Got you. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm curious to know. So, luggage is such a category where the brands out there, BIP and American Tourister, most of the features are almost same. You can barely differentiate bags, if it is a Sky bag or a American Tourister bag. So, tell me one thing: what is unique or differentiator of your product? What differentiates your product from these
Yeah,
popular
I mean,
brands?
essentially, like you bang on in terms of a particular luggage, it is a hard case luggage or a soft luggage. It will have wheels, it will have a telescopic handle, which is standardized across all the players, which is bang on. Okay. However, what we thought was, like, we wanted to, elevate the fashion consciousness of people. That was our aim. Okay. So, we played a lot with colors. B, we played with designs, and we also thought, and personally, we have encountered situation the way luggages are being handled at the airports. It is thrown left, right, center, and I'm sure you or any of your relatives or a family or friends would have had a crack case of a luggage. Wheels toot gaye, ye toot gaye. That was a genuine problem for the customers. We thought, okay, how do we solve that? We said, and when we go to the brands and seek for replacement, there are certain terms and conditions. This is not acceptable. This is not a part of the warranty. We said, leave all these things. Let's make it very, very simple. So as a brand, what we offer to the customers are two things. Okay, if your product is under warranty, okay, anything happens, come what may, we will replace the bag or we'll repair the bag at no additional cost. There will be no hidden terms and conditions. That is number one. Number two, we also thought that cracking of a luggage is a big thing. Okay, you should not encounter. So we, in around 80% of our collection, we offer lifetime warranty. Okay, which means आपके पूरे life में अगर आपका shell, if your shell cracks for any reason, you come back to us, contact us, we will give you a free bag at no additional cost. So and that's how we differentiate ourselves. And probably having an online background, that really helped us to scale up in Amazon and Flipkart and other marketplaces, because we knew the online game very well based on our background and our know-how handling so many brands as an aggregators. Okay, so I think that's how right now NasherMiles is amongst the fourth top four brands in the online marketplaces. The understanding of the online ecosystem is there, and that's how we differentiate ourselves.
Got you. Apart from good product, what are some other strategies that has proven successful for you, for your business, when talking in terms of customer acquisition or retention? How did you do well in these marketplaces? What was the secret?
one of the biggest thing is we realize that we are a D2C brand. We don't have the luxury of having an offline store where customers can come to the store, touch the product, look and feel. That was not an option. Okay. So we realized there was a gap. So what we ensured is on day one, we ensured that each of our products are shot extensively by a professional photographer. It is not the plain white, plain vanilla background photographs which we do. We plan a mood board, we plan a photo shoot, we write as much content as possible for each and every product, so that when a customer is looking at a products online, be it anywhere, Google, Amazon, Flipkart, they can clearly understand what we are talking about. Each and every data is mentioned. What is the weight of the product? What is the size of the product? What material is there? The inside construction. So I think one of the big things which worked really well was for us was focusing on the detailing part, focusing on the cataloging part. That's how, and those times nobody focused on that. Okay, we were the first movers, first few brands who was focusing very much on the cataloging part. That was a game changer for us. Number two, we really were we still are very finicky about the customer reviews. Right now, we still read the reviews, ratings, what it is. We try to reach out to the customers. We try to provide a solution to the problem. Okay, and that's what I think. These two fundamentals have been very core to our company, philosophy, and that's why I think these are the ingredients for our success so far.
uh, Many of the D2C founders say that manufacturing is a big pain point because all other things are pretty easy to figure out, but manufacturing also means that quality is a brand has to maintain a certain quality so that it plays a long-term game and
Yeah.
acquires customers for lifetime. So how do you go about manufacturing?
Oh, yes. Manufacturing is like your second marriage. I mean, probably it's a first marriage. You have to give it all out. It cannot be where, and we come from a family business background. We are Marwadis. There are lots of cousins within a family who have factories, okay? But the key to any manufacturing setup is the founder, the owner needs to be on the floor on every single day to make it a successful enterprise. If you are not there, if it is a half-hearted thing, manufacturing will never succeed. And we realize that game. So right now as a brand, we do OEM manufacturing. We partner with brands, we appoint people who oversee everything. Okay. However, the plant is not exclusively being run by us, for us. So that's how we've been able to scale up, which means around 70% of our products are still made in China, 30% are made in India. We have teams across both the geographies to monitor quality and everything, So we focus, the factory owners focus on the labors, they focus on the sourcing part. We focus on the final output, okay, which means each and every product is being checked thoroughly, quality check is done, and then we take the products. So that is one of the reasons why we're able to scale up fast.
Got you. Speaking of quality, any feedback or memorable customer stories that you can think of, which told you that your product is market fit, or it's appreciated by the customers?
Yeah, I mean, there are many instances. I mean, if you see that people genuinely love our colors, okay. When we started the industry, when we were scouting, people said that, you can do any color, but don't do yellow, don't do pink, okay, don't do white. These are the colors which will not do well, okay, because ganda ho jayega, it is too loud. As we speak, after 7 years, 6 years, 7 years, yellow is the fastest running color for us. Okay, pink is an amazing color for us. Okay, so that's when customers come to us. They always say that Nasher Miles gives a lot of color to their life, and that makes us happy. That is one of the most popular things which we get a feeler. Second is, I mean, we feel that if you have a problem, we'll provide a solution. And there have been many such instances where customers at the time of at the airport, they have forgotten their lock code. They are not able to open. They are traveling somewhere. I mean, these are very instant things. We have a 24/7 customer care team dedicated to them. We are there to help you out. We are here to provide a memorable experience as you travel with Nasher Miles. And yeah, that's how it is. I mean, we've ensured that customers are able to reach out to us very easily.
Got you. would be very curious to know if there is a meaning behind the name Nasher Miles. How did you arrive at that name?
Oh yeah, yeah, there is a meaning. So in Persian, there is a word called Nasher Kardan, okay, which means to publish. And then we thought of miles. So we wanted to publish the miles when people are traveling, their journey. We wanted to publish their memories as they move along. And that's how the name Nasher Miles conceptualized. Of course, we also wanted one more thing is when we started, we were very clear we didn't want an Indian name at that point of time.
Hmm.
Okay, so that's how for the longest time, for the first 3-4 years, people thought that Nasher Miles is an international brand. That
Hmm.
really helped us to scale.
Wow. What are
Yeah.
some of the biggest challenges that you have faced so far while building and growing this venture?
I mean, if we have to say the biggest event, what happened to us was COVID. Okay,
Hmm.
I mean, where travel was not even. I mean, that was the biggest challenge. If a travel company or a lot of companies would have faced the similar hardship, where
Hmm.
travel was non-existent, we couldn't have spoken about travel because that was not a time. Okay, this was one of a very tough phase for all of us. Fortunately, we were able to sustain the ship. Fortunately, we were able to manage the entire team together and we grew from there. Okay, these are part and parcel of an entrepreneur where certain events, I mean, who could have thought that there would have been a lockdown worldwide? I mean, these are once in a lifetime opportunity and it did hit us. Okay, so
Hmm.
the I mean, biggest hardship, if I have to recollect, it is certainly during the COVID period. However, during the COVID period also we pivoted in some way to make some business out of it. So that was interesting.
Got you. Uh, Now tell us, what is the meaning of entrepreneurship for you? How would you define the term entrepreneur, or who is an entrepreneur? What is the process of entrepreneurship as per you?
Anybody who wants to take ownership of anything is an entrepreneur. So a housewife is also an entrepreneur. A person who's on the street, who's working, जो वड़ा पाव भी बेचा वो भी एक entrepreneur है. Entrepreneur का एक ही काम रहता है, hustle करते रहना. Okay, that is the most. Anybody who is willing to hustle, anybody who is willing to take ownership is an entrepreneur in its own. Okay,
Hmm.
it doesn't mean a big entrepreneur or a small entrepreneur. Everybody is an entrepreneur. But yes, one of the biggest thing is for an entrepreneur. I mean, when we start a business, there are Excel, and you try a projection plan, 10% growth, 20% growth, so many funds you want. Everything is part and parcel. But when you start on day one, I mean, I remember I don't even know whether we refer to the initial plan. कि Excel में ऐसा planning किए थे.
Hmm.
So there is a big gap between planning and execution, and an entrepreneur should be prepared for all those things. Okay,
Hmm.
but yeah, entrepreneur का एक quality होना चाहिए that they should hustle. Okay, and that's the journey. There will be highs, there will be lows, but you need to move forward. You need to move forward. You need to pivot. Very important. Anybody, an entrepreneur needs to pivot. You cannot have with a fixated ideas. Okay, things
Hmm.
are changing. You need to be very close to the customer to understand. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's what entrepreneurship is to me.
Speaking of pivot, can you tell us any pivot experience that your venture has gone through, and what triggered that pivot?
Oh yeah, I mean COVID time. I mean we couldn't have sold luggages, we couldn't have sold suitcases, we couldn't have sold school bags, we couldn't have sold laptop bags because it was non-existent anymore. Yes, first 2 months because of the first lockdown, luggage not being an essential category, it was shut entirely. Okay, offline was not there, so then online it started after 3 months. So some traffic was there, but the numbers were minuscule. However, that was I mean, that couldn't have helped us sustain. Okay, if we had just been fixated कि हमें बस luggage बनाना है. The flavor of the season was mask and N95 mask. We said, चलो, let's add some color, and that is where the color is a central theme to us. Let's add some color to the plain white mask which are available. Let's add some prints to the N95 mask. Yeah, so we launched N95 mask in Nasher Miles, which was never planned. That was a big pivot for us. We launched colorful N95 mask क्योंकि सबके तो white mask होते थे. So an orange mask or a yellow mask or a teal mask, printed mask.
Hmm.
We sold over 5 lakh units in like 2 years. So I think that really helped us to sustain. So so that gaadi chalna chahiye. And of course now masks are not relevant anymore. But yes, that was a tactical strategic pivot which we did for nationals.
Got you. Any failures that you have apart from COVID, any other failures that you have gone through as an entrepreneur?
I mean, of course, there'll be failures. I mean, there has to have failures. Like when we started very, very early, we didn't know how to manage the returns part. Okay, in the online ecosystem, your biggest, a big part of your margin is how you handle your returns. Okay, customer returns, sellable returns, unsellable returns. People will send you used products. So that was a major part where, I mean, we were growing so fast, we didn't understand how to go about. Now there are systems, checks, and balances in place. So I think handling returns, how to handle returns was a big part. Okay. Second is, I mean, in terms of as we moved along, the compliances by the government has also increased a lot. Okay. I mean, there's been quite a few instances wherein we didn't know about this. Not that I mean we didn't want to. However, the laws kept on changing in terms of TDS, TCS, but now it is structured. It is much more better. Okay, and I'm sure anybody who has sold in the online ecosystem, their biggest pain point would have been the return management. Okay, and that was ours as well. However, now the ecosystem is built very, very nicely, where there is a separate line of business, seconds ka business. People will do a scrap business. Now it is much better, but those were one of the failures where we would have definitely lost money.
Got you. How do you compare entrepreneurship with a 9 to 5 job? Like you worked in corporate for a good amount of time, and then you
I,
jumped
I've
into
worked, I've, yeah, I've worked in Philips for 5 years. I mean, I was in sales. At the end of the day, but to be very frank, 6 बजे के बाद थोड़ा सा offset हो जाएगा. And Philips was a nice company, European company, work-life balance, Saturday, Sunday छुट्टी, आप आराम से काम करो. Friday you could leave at 3 o'clock. So they're very nice company, perfect work-life balance was there. So your switching on and switching off was very, very easy. As an entrepreneur, how much, however, you like it and how much big you become or small you are, I would say that switching on, switching off doesn't happen. At the back of the mind, you need to be, you are responsible for your entire team, which has come together to support you for this journey. Okay, you are responsible for the livelihood of a lot of people, so it comes with a lot of responsibility. Come what may, during COVID times when the business was not doing well, founders took a pay cut, but we ensured that none of our colleagues, they don't get money. I mean, we ensured that each one of them got salary, respectively, so that everybody has expenses. Okay, so that's like the major difference between an entrepreneur and a 9 to 5 job. In an entrepreneur, you learn so many things. I remember the first day we were in the warehouse sticking करते थे हम लोग, Amazon में shipment भेजे थे. I mean, I wouldn't have thought after doing a very, very nice MBA and SPGen and worked in Philips, online head for Philips, and I was actually stickering during Diwali time. And that is so entrepreneur के लिए कोई बड़ा काम और छोटा काम नहीं हो सकता. Every काम is important, and the more you understand each and every functions, it is better for yourself.
Got you. My final question. Tell us, what is the biggest or most interesting lesson that you have learned as an entrepreneur, which we can take away and probably apply to our ventures as well?
So I'll tell you one of the biggest reasons is, and I'm reading it across all businesses and new brands. People are making the strategy based on the end result. Okay, which means मेरे को इतना वैल्यूएशन करना है, मेरे को वो करना है, मेरे को एग्जिट लेना है. Everything is fine and everybody is I respect everybody's view. For us the co-founders, we certainly believe in the processes. Okay, we don't worry on the result. हमें पता है कि if our processes are right and what we want to do is correct, results will eventually happen. And that is one of the reasons why we are still a bootstrapped company. Okay, we have put our hard-earned money, hard-earned savings over the last 8-9 years into the business. We focused on the process. We were never very finicky about the end result. Okay, and result will eventually come. That is an outcome of a good process system. I think that's one of the biggest, lesson I would want to give to any entrepreneur. Don't go behind valuations. Don't go behind big numbers. Focus on the right things. आपके numbers भी आ जाएंगे और आपको valuation भी अच्छा मिलेगा. So that's how we can see it.
Thank you for your time, Mr. Lokesh, and it was a pleasure to have you on our platform.
Thank you so
And
much, Priya. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
thank you.
Thank you.